Hi there, I'm Dan Hollifield, and welcome to Last Man Standing here on January 13th, 2022. The time is now 11, or just a few minutes past the hour, and this is the place where we either continue on the madness that began in Stupid O'Clock or at 9 o'clock this evening, or we kind of surpass it as best we can. So without further ado, and I know Bill's going to complain because he likes a lot of ado and some dippity-doo at there. We'll bring on Josh and Bill here, and Stephanie Osborne will be joining us a little bit later. She has some things to take care of at the moment, but here we go.
I like the Mountain Dew, but I gave up the dippity-doo years ago.
Yeah, well, I did too, but then again,
they told me the wet look was out, so.
Yeah, they never told Mark Spitz that.
Yeah.
Dapper Dan?
Yeah.
Dapper Dan, yeah, from Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
Yeah, well, oh Lord, I need to trim this beard up. It's starting to look scraggly. I'm starting to look like Zardoz here. I got to trim that sucker up.
Me and you both.
You know, my favorite little small book from Mad Magazine was Greasy Mad Stuff. I think that was one of the first, not Mad magazines, but the little small books. Like the Peanuts books and that.
The paperback size?
Yeah.
Yep.
I forget what they called them other than paperback.
I think they were like digests or something.
Yeah.
It would have more than one issue's worth of stuff in it. It would have several issues worth of stuff.
Oh, yeah. Most of it was like the best of.
Yeah. That might have been actually the title, the best of for this year or this month, this set of months or whatever.
But yeah, that if I had to name any of them, the only one I could remember was the one that was called Greasy Mad Stuff. And of course it showed Alfred E. Newman with dripping Brill cream or whatever it was over his head.
I remember when, let's see, I was at that age when Mad Magazine was going strong. Cracked had just gotten started, and National Lampoon was doing some of the weirdest stuff I'd ever seen.
Oh, to call it R-rated would not be good enough.
Well, I mean, they were aimed at a college level audience rather than
17 to 21.
Yeah, well, more they were aimed at more 21 to 28. Yeah,
It
but
depends on which one it was.
hey, yeah, uh, they did have some awesome cover photographs, though. Oh, memories. Wish I still had some. Uh,
I want to say again, I appreciate y'all. I finally got to meet Stephanie. Thank
mhm.
y'all again.
I didn't know that you didn't know that was her because I told you,
No,
you
because
know, she was.
it took me forever to connect
Sometimes
the
it
dots.
take sometimes it takes a while for the penny to drop.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, I told him. Well, I guess you weren't in the show last week, so I told him
no,
that she had come on,
that was Greg that
and
was in here last week.
Yeah.
yeah.
I was sick last week.
Yep. And
I had to stand in for.
had your stunt double.
Yeah, no, don't say that.
A really nice guy, though.
Oh yeah, yeah, Greg. Yeah,
Hmm.
he's a great guy.
I enjoyed spending some time with him. Yeah, it was
I tried to get him to come on tonight, but
well.
he's a little under the weather. I think we
Fancy,
all are.
fancy that. There's quite a bit of weather I don't want to be under right now. At
Hmm.
least it was warmer today than it was yesterday. So, oh Lord, I had to sit in the driveway defrosting my car for a good 15 minutes yesterday, but today only about 5. That
Well,
lets you know the difference in the temperature right there.
I tried to sit outside for a little while today, but that daggum wind was
Mm.
whipping.
And here we go. We have our favorite Rocket Mama. And oh, that's Blanket. I thought that was Elron there for a second. Or is that your shirt? I can't tell because I have to keep the screen small for the comments for our entire viewer.
Hmm.
How many rockets have you shot off there, Mama?
Um,
I don't think they let her press the button on any of them, but she was there in attendance for sure.
let's see. You asked that, and I actually um 7 shuttle missions and 4 increments on the International Space Station.
Oh wow!
You got me. You got me started, Josh.
Oh,
I had to go get one.
You're
Yeah,
gonna have to, Josh. You're gonna have to send her some of those beef sticks that your sponsor gave out.
I got another box coming, so don't worry.
oh, oh. Here's a nice one that'll make you laugh. Uh, my my granddaughter, Lindsay's youngest granddaughter, just found out that we have a farmer nearby, about 2 miles away, that raises buffalo. And she wants Lindsay to drive by the pasture and take some pictures of the buffalo. I'm going, you do realize these things are bigger than her car, and she drives a Buick.
Mm.
And unless they're up close to the fence, the cell phone is not going to do them justice.
No.
But it beats the alternative of having them outside the fence on a back road in the dark. Uh,
This side of Nashville, on on Interstate 65, there is a horse farm. I can't remember the name of the farm, but one of their pastures is dedicated to 2 or 3 buffalo.
That the one that's got the llamas and all that up there.
I haven't seen any llamas. This one is literally right on the interstate. You
Interstate.
see it as you drive by.
Mm.
And you see, it's like in the pasture next to it, there's horses. And then you see the buffalo, and you're just like, holy crap. You get a real size comparison there because them horses are not small.
No, they make the horses look like My Little Pony.
Yeah, it's like, are those miniature horses?
No.
Only in comparison. I'll tell you one of the weirdest things I ever saw from the side of the road. We were out in New Mexico visiting Lindsay's family, and we were driving quite a ways because if you go to New Mexico, there's a lot of space in between any place where people are. So there's a lot of empty miles and miles of nothing but empty miles. We stopped at one place that was just a pull off on the side of the road. There was this huge herd of antelope out gamboling in a field. And I go, my God, I've never seen that many antelope that weren't on TV before. There must have been 100 of them. We kept going and went on to. There was a freaking cassowary standing up in a corner of a fenced off field with a buffalo and what I could have sworn was a kangaroo, all there within like 20 feet of each other inside the same fence. And I'm going, are people out here just crazy, or did they take the 70s really seriously? But,
I wonder if you could. Wonder if they're legal to hunt if it's that many.
I do believe they do have a hunting season. Yeah. Now
I've never ate antelope.
Don't. This is New Mexico. You
Yeah,
will
I
go
know.
to prison if you hit a cow with your car.
Really?
Yeah. It don't matter if the cow busted down the fence and got in the road.
Well, I was about to say I
You will go to prison.
can't say much.
That lets you know how powerful the cattle ranchers are in that state.
You can't pick it. You can't pick up if you hit a deer here in Alabama. You can't pick it up. Go
Well,
leave it on the side of the road.
That's a whole lot. That's a whole lot different than making a hobby of breaking rocks for the rest of your life for some cow wandering across the road when you're doing 75, which is a speed limit out there.
They'll not only let you pick up a deer here in Illinois, they'll actually ask you to. It'd be one less thing for them to do.
Hell, in Georgia, they'll make a date for you.
Now,
champagne and caviar, just get the thing off the road.
talk about hunting, legally hunting something or whatever. I heard on WBBM out of Chicago today, they were talking about, and I can't remember what state it was in now. So here I am telling this story, and I can't tell the whole thing, but it was a state where black bear were illegal to hunt. They were actually on an endangered species list from the mid 70s, but now they are no longer endangered. And a lot of people are saying we would like to be able to legally, well, I guess, if you had being accosted by a black bear, you want to be able to shoot them and not fear any repercussions.
That sounds like Alabama. I don't think you can hunt them.
It was in Alabama, but anyway,
they're as far south as Tuscaloosa, where I live.
I was wanting to say West Virginia, but I'm not too entirely sure on that one now. I'll have to check on that between now and Saturday.
West Virginia.
Yeah, there should be. Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be Kentucky. No, I wouldn't even. It could be Kentucky. But
I know we have brown bear down here, or in this particular area. There might be a few black bear. I know that at least twice, traffic in Atlanta has come to a halt because there was a bear on the highway. And getting people in Atlanta to stop for anything besides a car wreck is a real challenge.
Well, we was talking about alligator earlier. About 6 miles up the road, there was a swamp. It was about an 8.5 foot gator. Got hit by a 18-wheeler. Stopped traffic for about 3 hours.
Instant sausage.
Well, game wardens, all them had to come out there and inspect. And yada yada yada. They should have
Yep.
drug it out.
Did y'all just see my cat come through?
I'm sorry, I missed
I
that.
did not. I missed it.
I've seen you wince.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I did too.
That's because he dug in.
Uh
He's
Oh.
in romp mode,
oh.
and he's discovered that he can run across me and keep going. So he did.
A parkour kitty.
Yeah, he's really good at that for his age. I mean, you'd think. Yeah.
He's training to be a ninja
While
in
I'm
his old age.
while I'm thinking about it, are you on Zello?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
We are
I
about
have-
every day.
only reason I was asking is well, we'll talk later.
Okay. If
Yeah.
I have a need to be, I can. I mean,
No, it's no problem right now.
It's not like she's technologically challenged,
Yeah, well, no,
Yeah.
I know that, but it's like
it's more a case of.
it's like for chasers and stuff like that.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you were a licensed storm, or not licensed, but you were an official storm chaser for a while, weren't you, Stephanie?
Yeah. Well, not a chaser, a spotter.
Yeah.
I have inadvertently chased a few.
Well, I have been chased by one or two. But
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Well, I'm a chaser and spotter, but I don't have. Let's see, I have epilepsy, and every time it seems like I'm about to get my license back, I have another seizure. So
Oh, darn.
that would tend to give them the wrong impression.
yes, that's
Yeah.
another 6 months. I can't get my license back. So,
Well, find yourself a pilot and be the
navigator.
pilot. Yeah.
Be the navigator. Yep.
Or as my dad would say, the nagavator.
Oh,
That's what he used to call Mom all the time when we go on vacation. I'd say, Dad, can we sit up front with you? No. Mom's got to be up here because she's got to be the nagavator.
I imagine that was a very cheerful relationship there.
Sound like my granddad.
Completely different subject here. One of the commercial space endeavors is a little bitty. It's somewhere between a space plane and a small, tiny shuttle.
Mhm.
And they've actually applied for Huntsville International Airport to be one of the landing sites.
Oh wow!
Oh, wow! Yeah, that's cool.
Do you know how close I am to Huntsville International Airport?
Go out there with the webcam and.
No, you said it's commercial.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh wow!
Yeah, there's a lot of commercial
Wait, I
efforts
was about to
that
say
are
that.
not getting big news coverage.
I still want to know what that what is it? The X-38 or X?
Oh, the military thing?
Yeah, the Air Force.
Yeah, the robotic one. Yeah.
Is it still? Is it still in the air? Have they relaunched it? Or
I don't know for sure right at this minute, but
the mini shuttle?
I think as soon as it lands, they give it a
Don't they have
quick
two?
service thing and then send it right back up again.
I think they have two of them, don't they?
I only know of one, but that doesn't mean that there's not two.
But see, I think that thing is a weapon.
I think it's more of a
Recon or
yeah,
something.
recon. Yeah, it would be more useful. I mean, we've got all kinds of weapons, but knowing where to drop weapons is
Yeah.
something that would be more worthy of
The,
the kind of budget they're spending on that.
Based
oh, yeah.
based on what I know of it, which I will grant you that in recent years I haven't kept up like I should, but based on what I know, I suspect that yeah, it's recon rather than which is not to say it maybe couldn't be weaponized, but
It's more or less maybe a moving GPS, so
Well,
or something
cameras,
like that.
cameras and whatnot. Yeah.
yeah, cameras, and it's a remote controlled spy sat.
Yeah.
So, because the
Trying
last
to
I knew of, it wasn't manned. Was it? Was it?
No.
No, it's entirely unmanned. It's a teeny tiny robotic SR-71 basically,
Yeah, yeah.
with a more space shuttle-y design. So
And a little bit higher altitude
yeah, so we're
capability.
talking even better cameras.
Yeah.
So quake with fear, you tiny fools!
if we all get knocked on,
Don't mess with the U.S.
if we all get knocked on the doors tonight, Bill, it's your fault.
Oh,
Bill, you set it off.
Say, Camp, we're coming to get you, Camp.
Promise, I'm blaming it on you.
oh, why am I reminded of a Frank Zappa album? He was such a nice boy. He used to cut the grass. Oh, I see. Recognition has filled the room. Yeah, that was from Joe's Garage, Act 1, actually. Although it did get repeated occasionally as a background bit in Acts 2 and 3. Popular music, one of those things I actually know something about. Or rather, unpopular music, since it's Zappa, where you gotta have a brain to appreciate it.
Yeah, we had to have a college radio station over here, WPGU, to be able to hear anything from Zappa.
Yep, which is a shame because he did several albums of stuff that was entirely instrumental, so nobody had to worry about any naughty words or frankly upsetting political opinions. And Frank was very outspoken about lots and lots of things. But damn fine musician. You know, there is sheet music for almost everything that is on one of his albums. He actually wrote sheet music for it. I have seen some of this stuff. It's insane. I mean, I've seen sheet music for the first 4 Black Sabbath albums.
Wow.
They look like something you'd learn in 6th grade marching band, you know, compared to some of the stuff that Frank was putting out. I have never seen so many notes and staves and time changes and key changes in my life.
Was he classically trained originally?
Yes.
Prior?
Yes, he had a PhD in music, actually.
That's what I thought.
Yep. And he had a black belt in attitude. Oh,
you watch those hearings that they had in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
He was there, I think John Denver, and I can't remember how many others when they were censoring
when
the music.
When they were trying to stick warning labels on everything that that wasn't Pat Boone. Oh.
Which nowadays I feel like I'm on the other side of the coin because of some of the stuff that I hear, especially with a lot of rap and hip hop albums. I'm like, yes, label it. Put them in the back room that you would have the porno mags or whatever, because who would want their kids to have that? It's just crazy.
Well, now see, I've got to argue the opposite point that just because somebody does something for shock value doesn't mean that they're evil. So, yeah, it might not be something that I want to listen to, but then I know I have the opportunity to change the radio station.
Well, I just come to mind of several albums that did promote a lot of things that weren't right, and regardless of whether they were saying the F word or whatever they were doing, whether it be gang violence. What album had the recently it was a raped woman, of course, somebody's depiction of one laying in the alley. I can't remember. I'm wanting to say that was a metal band that had that album cover.
Couldn't tell you. That's the first I ever heard of it. So
yeah.
Well, at one time, Pink Floyd's "Great Gig in the Sky," people were claiming that that girl was being murdered, and then there was I can't remember which 70s band it was. There's a sequence in there where they had at the beginning of the song a girl. I think it was a song about a roller coaster, basically, and some girl shouting and screaming and everything. They were going, "Oh yeah, she's being murdered," and I'm going, did you actually listen to this stuff, or did you just read the National Enquirer and make up your mind?
That would be "Love Roller Coaster" by the Ohio Players.
There you go. There you go.
And I do remember that. And the album,
we got John over here.
Guns N' Roses.
Yeah, Roller Coaster.
Yep. And basically, I know I've actually listened to or watched interviews with some of the folks from Pink Floyd, not only the studio folks, but the band themselves. And they were going, "Hey, yeah, we wanted this scat singing in the background for this one piece." And the lady came in and she was singing, and she actually started adding in words and stuff. We go, "No, no, 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 no. Just music. Your voice is an instrument. We don't want words for this piece." And so that's where "Great Gig in the Sky" came through. It was something the band wanted. I think the producer, might have been Alan Parsons, knew this lady that had a tremendous voice and got her in there, and on the second take made magic.
Well, my biggest thing is, if you ain't inciting violence or promoting stuff like that, have at it. That's your First Amendment right.
So here's one here.
Okay.
I've actually pulled up articles on this. This particular album cover features a white picture with some green added to it of a teenage girl wearing a flower shirt holding a smoking gun. The back cover features a boy lying on the ground with a gunshot wound on his back. This is Green Day's 1992 Kerplunk album. And I guess Walmart and Kmart initially refused to carry Kerplunk. The band saw the controversy. They continued the controversy on their next album, Dookie, which I think most people know, Dookie. And that showed an animated picture of dogs throwing bombs and dirt on people and buildings with huge explosions. And the band name is on the top of the cloud. Now, something
heard,
like that, because
I've
it's
heard of both albums, but except unless it's been on the radio, I haven't heard any of the music off those albums.
right. I would say the Dookie album,
You've
because
heard
it's dogs doing that, would make it more animated. I mean, it was an animated picture, but that would be more, how would you put it? Kind of a,
it's punk, right?
well, they were doing it as a farce because
Yeah.
of the other album. The other album, when you saw that could promote violence.
I don't know. Josh, I wouldn't say they were punk. They were definitely way past
All right,
that.
grunge.
Grunge, yeah, I'll give you that one. That's a safe bet.
Yeah, not new wave, but they came in right about that time though.
Nirvana. They came in right around
Yeah,
the
right around that era. So yeah, it would fit in with the grunge phase. Yeah, phase.
Here's another album cover depicting a white boy listening to rap music in the midst of a home invasion in which blacks are attacking whites, presumably the boy's parents. This is Ice-T's 1993 Home Invasion album. And Sire Records, owned by Time Warner, of course, refused to release the album with the cover, and Ice-T left the label as a result. I mean, some of these are just, maybe yes, maybe no, dogs throwing bombs. That could be a cartoon or maybe an underground comic at the worst. But what I just described from the Ice-T album, that's blatant. Then you have albums like, for the Street Survivors, Leonard Skinner, which had featured the photograph of the band, particularly Steve Gaines, standing in the street of a town engulfed in flames. 3 days after the album was released, of course, 3 of the band members were killed in a plane crash due to fuel exhaustion. Out of respect for the deceased and at the request of Teresa Gaines, Steve Gaines's widow, MCA withdrew the original cover and replaced it with a similar image of the band against a simple black background. 30 years later, for the deluxe CD version, Street Survivors, the original Flames covered, was restored. My brother had the copy with the original Flames in the background, and he turned around and sold that album about 20 years later for $45, an album that he had bought for, I think, $3.50 at the time. And I know that's what some of those do. The Beatles Butcher cover for Yesterday and Today.
Bring that up. Yeah. They had to change that one because people didn't like that.
Yeah, that was a little risque. I'm first to tell you that I'm a big Beatles fan, and I scratched my head at that. But now, if you get a copy of that album with
money.
Yeah, not only the original Butcher cover, but with the more mild cover pasted over it of them sitting around a steamer trunk. And of course, Paul's sitting in the steamer trunk, which that was part of the Paul is dead conspiracy.
That's a fun rabbit hole to go down.
I'll tell you.
If you really... if you got your head screwed on tight and you know it's baloney, and urban legend about the Leonard Skinner album is the only people being touched by the flames were the people killed in the plane crash, which I don't know. I don't think that's accurate, but people will make up stuff.
Mhm.
and pass it around as if it were actual fact. And you just got to, you know, sometimes you got to saddle up that pony and ride, and just wait till the storm's over. Uh,
Well, it was very good of MCA
yeah, it was very
to change
respectful.
that for, out of respect,
Uh-huh.
regardless of whether Steve Gaines's wife asked him to or not. That was nice because it was a horrible accident.
Yeah.
Something that is deliberately and maliciously put on an album cover depicting violence or rape, something of that nature. That total. I don't care. I'm a rock and roll rebel as much as the next person, but on that, I mean, you got to draw the line somewhere, and that's where I draw mine.
Yep.
You know.
And I don't disagree with you whatsoever. This is one of those cases where I think people ought to vote with their wallet and not buy that sort of thing. Now,
Exactly.
and nowadays it doesn't matter because everything's done through downloads, and you don't get to see a picture anyway.
Although it had been stated this past year that the sale of vinyl has far surpassed CDs.
Yep.
Even despite, and they've even actually, they talked about they gave the digital downloads a run for their money, all because of these young 20-something hipster kids are digging the vinyl now. They
Oh yeah.
want the scratchiness. They don't want the perfect audio quality.
Well, that's the thing. The digital copies of songs are so um, highly compressed
Mhm.
that the sound suffers. You can't do that on vinyl. You get a much. You have to have a little bit less compression, so the sound comes out differently. And the technology for reproducing the sound is different, so you get an entirely different sort of um, warmth and timbre and whatnot out of the same recording, just from two different media.
Well, it'd be like listening to Leon Redbone's cover of what Light of the Silvery Moon,
Mhm.
uh, and not being able to hear his fingers slide on the strings.
Okay,
Bot
and
time.
we've had our first Russian bot of the night. Thank you
Yeah,
very much for playing. You get a lifetime supply of rice-a-roni,
yeah.
the San Francisco treat.
But um,
Sorry to derail you there, Bill.
no, I've derailed myself because I saw the bot come in.
Uh,
I'm thinking that's the first one of the night, wasn't it?
yep, that was, and
For this show.
for here, yeah.
Yeah.
And considering we have no live viewers except for bots, but in the next couple of weeks we'll have 8 or 10 people. Oh, now we've got a live viewer. Um, in the next couple of weeks, the replay on YouTube will have several viewers, and I don't know. I don't go back and look at the stats for the Facebook channels that we are also broadcasting to. So,
I never check them.
I mean, it's Joe has got like the absolute limit for how many places he can broadcast a show to, a stream to. And I've only got 4, sometimes 5, depending on whether or not Joe sets it up or I set it up. Um, so I've got my Facebook, the Aphelion Facebook, we got the Rising Tide Facebook, and then my personal YouTube channel. So not a lot of options. I don't have a Twitch account, so I don't send it over there. I don't see any reason to just get a Twitch account to send the show over there, because basically, um, although having viewers is fun, this is basically just for the folks that are in the show.
Well,
Just
I
to have,
know a lot of people say that a lot now about Rumble because of so many that have gone there that they're doing podcasts and they subscribe just to solely be able to put it over on Rumble because it brings up their algorithms big
oh,
time
dear. Oh,
on it. But to me, if you're not doing anything else on there, that's, I don't know.
yeah. I'm wondering nowadays, I'm wondering why I even have a Twitter account. Uh, it was okay when I first joined because I got to talk with a lot of other writers, but then more people I subscribed to, the fewer times the writers got a chance to break the hour or so a day that I was willing to give to reading all the tweets, and then it's finally got to the point to where if I go on there once a month, it's not like anybody is trying to engage me in a conversation there like they do on Facebook. Um,
Well, like Craig Ferguson used to say, I don't do the Tweety, but I know all the kids do. The kids aren't on Facebook anymore. They're on Twitter.
yeah,
That's where they all. I've heard my niece say that. I've heard my 16-year-old nephew. Heard my 19-year-old nephew talk about it. I heard a bunch of 20 somethings. That's all. That's where they want to be, and okay, that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. And
hmm
maybe 5 or 10 years down the road, it might be somewhere else. I
oh, I'm
mean,
sure it will be. I'm sure it will be wherever I mean, uh, the main reason that I got on MySpace was
mhm.
to keep up with and interact with uh, my kids. Basically, I had no reason to be there. There wasn't anything I needed to do there except be able to talk to my kids. Now they're on Facebook. I can go there and watch what they're doing. Um, um One of the girls is only on uh, Pinterest, and she does her artwork and um, well, I don't want to go into it, how much detail, but she's got different crafty sort of stuff that she does there, and Lindsay keeps up with that, and she'll shoot me a picture every once in a while uh, as to something really, really, really outstanding that I ought to see. But I just, if I'm on social media to keep up with my friends and my kids and my family, and that's about it. I will bite the bullet and try and promote some of the stuff that I do, but I'm under no illusion that anybody's ever going to go and spend any money on what I do just because they saw a link on Facebook. Now, if I post an excerpt of something or a song from Bandcamp or whatever, yeah, I can see where that might garner somebody's interest. But you can't just I can't just do that and nothing else. Um, I like to talk too much. So,
Well, started doing social media largely to promote my books.
mhm.
But yeah, I'm like you. I talk too much. So it's a lot more than that. And I just occasionally, when I got a new book out or a book goes on sale or whatever, I'll put up something about it.
Yeah,
And yeah, I do get sales from that. So
yeah. Well, I mean, yeah.
I'm not a huge famous author. I'm working on it, but I'm not there yet.
No,
So
but you are very good. And I keep telling people check her out. Um,
well, thank you. I try.
well, we met at a Liberty Con many years ago, and I have never looked back. Anything of yours that I pick up, I'm going to enjoy reading. It doesn't matter what genre it's in or whether it's fiction or nonfiction. And I just your name is one of those. Your name is one of those on my list of, if they put something out, I'm going to buy it. Might take me a while because I'm a working stiff and I got bills to pay, but I will eventually have everything you've ever written and published. And oh, I'm looking forward. I'm looking forward to reading the new one. I promised Keisha that I'm going to read her book because it's her first book. But the only time I really get to read anymore is on break at work. So during my breakfast, during my lunch, during my dinner, I can sit and read something. Um, but when I'm home, I'm either here or I've got my word processor open trying to get the next book of my own finished. And the and I don't write anywhere near as rapidly as you do, which we both know to my mutual my chagrin. Um, uh, one day that thing that we attempted might actually happen. But I've got too much other stuff to do right now to be able to devote full time to it. But I wish that had worked because that was bits and pieces of it were awesome. Bits and pieces of it were not quite so awesome, and, and that was entirely my fault. So
I'm still trying to get that book out. So
yeah,
one of
uh,
these days,
I,
maybe.
I've I've still got a copy of everything up until the this ain't working, and I just was. I thought I was thinking big enough, but I wasn't thinking big enough, and
Well, and it wasn't your fault. I mean, this is something that I inherited it. It wasn't my original concept, and therein lies the problem. Because when you inherit something that you didn't start as a writer, that makes it that much harder. And I don't know. I still haven't got it worked out yet. So
well, now I've got to admit the original kickoff novel was not something that appealed to me. It was only when you and Travis stepped into it that it became appealing.
Travis and I never wrote it together. Travis
I know
worked. Travis worked
Travis
on the
worked on
first
it with
book.
him, and
Travis
then
worked on the first book with
yeah,
with the other guy,
yeah.
and then Travis bowed out, and then and the publisher tapped me, and then the other guy bowed out, and that's how I wound up with book four to write, you know,
Hmm.
and when I didn't, and they didn't keep any notes. They didn't have anything approximating a series Bible.
That would have
So
helped. That would have helped. I kept going back and rereading the first three books over and over again, and it was like water through my fingers. I could not retain
yeah, and
all the information.
don't feel bad because that's part of the problem I'm having with it. That's the reason why I haven't gotten the fourth book written.
Mm.
It's not just you. It's
Well, your outline was fantastic. I
I just
mean,
can't get any further with it.
yeah. Well, neither could I. There now there were scenes in there where I thought, "Oh wow, this is great! I can't wait till she reads this." And there were scenes in there where I go, "Oh God, I hope she never reads this." Oh, um, when you got something that got handed to you without your asking for it, it can be a slog.
Yeah.
Um, And oh, hello, Mike. Sorry, playing hosty here. Hey, Mike, how you doing? Uh,
Didn't see him pop in.
well, it was just this instant. It is morning over there.
Mhm.
Yeah. Uh, uh well,
Now all we need is Glenn B. Fleming
I was just
to
about
come
to
in.
say, but he's under the weather. He's under the weather.
Oh,
If he's smart, he'll be sleeping in,
mm.
trying to get well, and hope he does. Uh, uh, Looking forward to his and Ted's show starting back up again. Although they are doing a comic show, uh, 6 a.m. in the Netherlands. Yes, yes. Yep. Uh, well, you're up early. Hope you got plenty of coffee, or whatever it is that is your morning cuppa. Uh, oh, 5 a.m. in the UK. Here we go. I'm reading it out loud before I ever post it. So yeah. No, I wouldn't disturb him. I wouldn't disturb him till 9. Even then, I would be hesitant.
You
Um,
disturb me at 9 o'clock, and you're liable to get an earful.
mhm.
I'm a
um,
night owl.
yeah, me too. Although I've got to get up at 6 a.m. Go to work tomorrow. So
Oh, ouch.
hey, well, I haven't retired yet. So
Yeah, I know.
25 more months
And
if I
counting.
get my way. Yep, and counting down. Uh,
Hey
February.
Dan,
Yes.
uh, I just want to jump. I just want to jump in here real quick. Things are getting really, really super glitchy on this end. I don't know if it's just my connection or weather related. So I think I'm just going to try to take this opportunity, go ahead and kind of bow out for tonight. But I'll see you tomorrow night, eventually in the green room.
Yeah.
Oh, another bot.
Thank you.
And but good talking to you and Stephanie and Josh and
Likewise.
Joe
Likewise.
Dog, all the rest of them tonight, and that, and Stephanie, if we hopefully maybe see you Saturday night if you're out there.
Probably so, yeah.
Okay,
I
and
find that this is a good keep me busy and keep me occupied kind of chat with friends kind of a deal. So it helps. So
well, we're definitely praying for you still, and
I'll take all of those I can get. I'm
any
telling you.
well, they work.
Yeah,
That's
they do.
the only reason why I pray for somebody is because I know they worked for me in the past. And so that's the reason why I do it. And when I say that I pray for somebody, I hope they don't take it lightly as saying, oh, kind of sorry about that. And then they kind of go on. And I do.
Bill, could you hang on just a little bit? I've got to step out of the room, and I
Sure.
don't want to leave Stephanie vamping by herself, even though I
Okay.
know she's more than capable.
Yeah, go right ahead.
But yeah, it's for those of you that are unaware, my husband died December 1st. It was very unexpected, and I mean, I knew he had heart problems and everything, but we had just had some cardiac procedures done that we hoped would fix some stuff and give him, many more years to come. And then just, I mean, a week later, bam, he was gone. And um, it I'm in Huntsville, Alabama, but I'm from Tennessee originally, and my family's still back in Tennessee. So I don't really have any family here close. And so I've been doing this the last couple weeks because it's giving me things to do in the evening that are positive and that I can talk. It's just, chatting with friends. So And it's working. It's helping, and I appreciate being able to do it. So, um, it beats the heck out of
Well,
sitting
we
here crying.
appreciate you having you on the show.
Well, I'm glad I'm able to contribute something now and again. I don't always, know what to say necessarily, depending on what the subject is, but I listen
Oh, I'm having
and
issues again here.
oh, okay, yeah, you're. It's kind of like that commercial of the mama singing to the kids. You just gotta freeze. Um, but yeah, it's I'm glad I'm able to contribute something once in a while. So maybe I'm adding a little something to the show. Um, so I was
Yeah,
having
I had a
trouble.
friend of mine that I've.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was having trouble getting on earlier, so I don't know if there's something going on tonight. And thank you, Mike. I appreciate that. And yes, it does help. Um, so I don't know if there's something going on with the internet because it I could not get on initially. I could the link wouldn't go through.
Yeah, and I was just checking the radar here, seeing if it was something weather related, and we dense fog advisory right now for a lot of the counties here in central Illinois. They were talking some places of zero visibility, so that might have something to do with it. I don't know.
It depending on depending on how your internet is getting to you, you could have some shorts in the system someplace from the dampness. I know that for a while there, until we swapped over to a different provider, our phone and internet would always go down when it rained. Never failed. Didn't have to storm, just be wet.
Yep. Uh, I had cable TV service like that one time, and then come to find out that a piece of wire was sticking up out of the ground where they'd buried the cable, and somebody'd run over it with a lawnmower. So every time it got wet,
Hmm.
it
Yep,
shorted out. Uh,
lovely.
isn't not
And
owning your
I'm
own
currently using my neighbor's internet.
Oh, okay.
He's got a guest Wi-Fi. So, but hey, folks, I do have to get out because I'm catching about every third or fourth word that you're both saying,
Oh
and I
wow.
don't want to tromp on either one of
Hi, I'm
you. So
Bill, and I got
I'll
internet.
just say goodnight for now, and yeah,
Arr.
exactly.
Or
But I'll see you guys later, though.
all right.
Good
Good
night,
night,
Bill.
Bill.
Good. See you tomorrow. Well, he'll if he watches the recording, he'll see that. But excuse me. Oh,
You and me, kid.
uh, I have had some kind of sinus infection for about a week now, and it's getting much better, but I'm still highly congested. Although all the tests say it isn't anything more serious.
Well,
So,
that's good.
yeah, really.
I'm having trouble with all the crying I've done and everything. My sinuses keep trying to get infected, and then it drains down into my chest, and I hack and cough,
Yep.
and so yeah, it's a pain in the butt. And then everybody thinks that I'm sick, but I'm not. It's just
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Uh,
So I was at the post office today, and I started coughing because the air was dry, and I had some congestion down here that wanted to break loose because of the dry air. And I finally told everybody, "Look, guys, I promise you, I'm not sick. Here's the deal." And I just explained, my husband died. I'm crying a lot. It's just gunk. And so that nobody said anything after that. But Before that, they kind of looked at me funny, you know.
They will. And where I'm working, the dust in the air is pretty fierce. So I'll get out of the car in the parking lot and be able to breathe. Having been able to breathe all the way from the time I got up till the time I pulled into the parking lot, before I can walk 50 yards and go in the building, my sinuses are clogged up,
I
just
believe you.
solid.
That can't be good for you, though.
Well, it's
'Cause
not,
that's
but uh,
fiberglass dust. I mean, that's silicosis waiting to happen right there.
yeah, but it prevents anything else because my lungs are like those fancy mufflers on the car. They're glass packs. There's no way anything else can get in there. No, now the company has paid for several studies to prove that uh, breathing fiberglass dust is entirely harmless.
Tell that to the animals that died of silicosis after the Yellowstone eruption.
Well, no, I was just thinking along the same veins as the coal mining companies that paid to prove that black lung was actually not a thing. So it depends on who's funding the research.
True.
Yeah.
True.
And they have learned that I am a little too cynical for them to introduce me to the higher management. So you want to know the truth? I'll tell you the truth, and you can't handle it. We've got
I hear you.
we've got a temporary plant manager that's fixing to come in, and I'm sure that she's going to want to turn the entire place upside down and do things her way and all this. And I'm going, you've never actually seen this place without somebody trying to pull the wool over your eyes, have you?
Yeah,
It's going to be an enlightening experience if she has an open mind.
I bet. And worse if she doesn't.
Yeah, well, she's only going to be there till they hire somebody else to be the new plant manager, and they don't like it. Oh, good grief! That's scratchy as all get out. They don't like it when they come in and I'm introduced to them and go, "Oh, hi, you're the new temp,"
Mm-mm-mm.
because they're only there 3 to 5 years, and I've been there 45.
Yeah.
Oh, good grief!
Have you got a humidifier or anything there in the house?
We don't need a humidifier. Lord, we've got 150% humidity.
Yeah. Okay. Well, in the wintertime, though, that goes down. So,
I need an aqua lung is what I need. Uh, no, it's when I finally coughed up so much stuff and blown my nose 100 million times. It finally gets to the point to where the back of my throat starts acting like I just took a Tylenol 3 with some codeine or something, and there's claws going down the back of my
oh,
throat.
yeah, yeah.
Yep. When I went to get my dentures, the the doctor finally put it on my medical records that I am allergic to codeine.
Oh,
I have gone all my life being handed stuff with codeine in it. And I go, hey, this is uncomfortable. It kind of, I can't breathe very well. It makes the inside of my throat itch. And they're going, oh, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. You're a young man. This doctor goes, no, this could kill you. I'm putting it on the record.
dang.
Yeah, really. And here I am almost 65 years old before anybody paid any attention.
Well, I can't take codeine. I can't take morphine. I can take hydrocodone in small doses. Otherwise, it knocks me out and tends to make me want to stop breathing, which is
Mm.
not healthy. Um,
No, no, breathing is kind of beneficial.
yeah, I can take oxycodone, except it makes me so sick.
Mm.
I mean, and every time somebody prescribes it, which is usually like after I've been cut on,
Yeah,
every time it makes me sicker. So I'm
yeah,
to the point now to where I'm like, give me something else. Don't want that stuff.
really.
Because I mean, even when they prescribe something for nausea, doesn't help.
No,
I
no, it
just
wouldn't.
want to lie there and be still and try not to throw up.
It's the next best thing to an allergy. So yeah, or
Yeah,
it might even be an allergy.
yeah. Well, the
Um,
morphine, they said I was definitely allergic to the morphine, and it did make me start throwing up. Which when you've just been sliced open from hip bone to hip bone is not a plan really.
no, you
That
can
that
bust all kind of stitches there.
that kind of hurts. Yeah. Um, and then the codeine, they gave me codeine after I had some major oral surgery. And the very first dose of the codeine, um, I guess the best way to describe it would be bad trip. I
Mm.
went hysterical. I was screaming and crying and trying to climb the walls. I was a teenager, and like I said, had just had some fairly major oral surgery, and it yeah. So they didn't. I took one dose, and then it was like, nope, we're not giving you any more of that.
Yep.
So
I found out that I was allergic to codeine in a similar situation back when I was a teenager uh, at the dentist, but without as severe a reaction. No, it just like I said, it makes the inside of my throat itch like I've just swallowed a cactus or something.
ooh,
And uh, yeah, potentially we're talking anaphylactic shock, which is not good. Um, so I'm very glad to get that on my medical record to not give me none of that stuff anymore. Um,
with me, they gave me the morphine after some abdominal surgery. Well, they sliced me open from hip bone to hip bone. Um, and so they had me on a morphine, a pump. So
yeah,
I'd hit the pump when I started hurting. Well, the problem with that was the morphine hurt as bad going in as the pain of the surgery did.
mm,
So all I was trading was one pain for another. And so the best way I know how to describe it was it felt like instead of painkiller, it felt like somebody was pumping lava straight into the blood vessel.
instead of a painkiller, it was a pain inducer.
Yeah. Now it stopped the abdominal pain, but then I
Yeah.
had this throbbing, burning pain in my arm, and then after a few hours of that, like I said, I started throwing up,
Mm,
and
yep.
so they were like, "Yeah, we're taking we're taking you off this." So
There you go. Same
yeah,
thing.
I don't go. It doesn't happen that fast to me, or at least it didn't. Um,
Well, as we
but
get
yeah,
older, things evolve.
yeah, true. But I've got a I don't know if you can see this right here. I've got a medic alert bracelet.
Yep. Delete my browser history.
But it's got my name and where I live on the top side, and then on the bottom side it was like, don't give me this, or this, So
I,
um
I if I did that, it had to go about halfway up my arm. It looked like I was wearing bracers from Conan movie or something.
I actually had to go back when they added something else to it. Um, I had to go back and have another one made to get everything on there. And actually trying to get everything on there is a monumental pain in the butt. So it's got really teeny writing on it.
You'd be better off getting microchipped.
Well, I've also got on my phone. I went ahead and put a lot of that and broke it out in more detail,
Yeah.
as well as a list of the medications that I take and stuff like that. Um, so that way, and I've got a notice on the phone to where check the notes app for the medication information stuff. So yeah, getting old sucks.
Oh, it always has since I was 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh, Sometimes I think I was born old. I'm just growing into it now.
Arguably, I could say, yeah, I get that. I get that. I could probably say something similar. So, but um,
It's-
hmm?
oh, I was just trying to think. What is the next chance that I will get to see you in person?
Well, I will be at confinement next month.
Mhm.
I will be at Fantasycon in March. If nothing slips, rips, or tears, I'll be at Liberty. I'm planning on
Yep,
going to Liberty, so
that'll be
probably
that'll be
Liberty.
that'll be it. Yep, because so far, uh, Lindsay and I are going to Liberty Con, and she may come with me to Hallowcon this
Okay.
this year. Um, she's wanting to since I've got, since I get a vendor table at Hallowcon, she's wanting to get rid of uh, the steampunk costumes that she's outgrown. So I mean, I'm gonna miss looking at her in those hot dresses, but you know, she's not comfortable wearing them. I'm not gonna ask her to wear them. So
I will be at Hallowcon, and I will be at Conjuration.
once I retire, we will be looking at adding a uh, pro- possibly Atlanta Steampunk Expo in February, and then something else. Uh, I don't know exactly when. I mean, summertime is covered with LibertyCon. Fall is covered with Hallicon. Maybe something in the dead of winter. I don't believe I want to do more than 4 cons a year, unless I have to get out there and do hella promotions or something. Because I don't see that
Well,
happening.
next month when I do Conjuration, not Conjuration, Confinement. Um, I was supposed to do quite a few panels and some talks, and they kind of got with me and they said, "Look, Steph, um, we think that you probably need to just kick back this time and let us look after you for a
And
change."
very nice of them.
Yeah, it really was. And so um, that was long about the time I was starting to realize that evidently there's a term for it, widow's brain or something or other like that. It's like you go space cadet.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And
Never heard the term before, but I know the symptom.
I began realizing, you know what? I've got these prepared talks, scientific talks and everything. but there's no guarantee that I can actually do it because my brain just occasionally goes, you know,
Mm.
and
Whereas I have the greatest faith that once you get started, you will run on automatic until that talk is over. But I can
when
well understand how all the stress could derail that particular freight train.
exactly, and especially when I'll be talking along, and you've probably seen me do it already in uh, stupid o'clock, but I'll be talking along, and suddenly the word just won't be there. The word that I want to say just is just not there.
Welcome to my life.
Well, I mean, you know me. That doesn't,
I know, I know. That's
you know,
that is not one of the traits that I associate with you.
right.
I have come to expect that sort of aphasia with myself, but then I've had an entire lifetime of being me, and
Yes, brain farts are real. They are indeed.
yeah, uh, and boy
um,
does it suck.
yeah, boy. And when it's something like this, it sucks worse too. So,
Yeah,
um,
they
and so basically, I started realizing that you know what, I started to protest and say, no, 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 I can do this. And then I realized, you know what, they're probably right. I probably need to just back off and just not, and just let them do what they want to do. And I'll sit there, I'll set up a table, and I'll sell books if people want to buy books, and I'll talk to people if they want to come by and talk to me. And other than that, I'm just gonna just be.
yeah, it's probably in your own best interest not to be uh, on stage. Uh, there's probably a better way to put that. Um,
Well, it
adopting your performing persona.
yeah, it. I don't have to be on all the time.
Well, no, but it's kind of hard for you to do that. I mean, you're
Yeah,
normally on all the time.
when I'm
Uh,
at a convention, yeah, I am.
yeah,
Um, and I'm borderline extrovert introvert according to the Myers Briggs
yeah,
testing. So I can flip back and forth depending on what I need to do. I think of myself as an extrovert, um, and I'm a little bit more extrovert than introvert, but it's not that far off. So when I'm here writing, I'm kind of focused in on this. But then when I'm at a convention, I open up, I open out, and I'm talking to people, and I'm getting into it, and I'm making jokes, and I'm getting people interested and whatnot, and I can do that, and I can go either direction. I'm trying to get my power cable
uh,
straightened out here. Um,
I thought Elron was pushing the laptop forward.
No, I'm sitting in my recliner, and I've got the footrest up, and I have to be careful because the foot when I lower the footrest later on, I'll forget about the cable, and the cable will get caught under there, and I don't want to mess up the cable.
Mhm.
And it does that all the time if I'm not careful. So I want
Yep,
to keep it lined up. So
I've had to develop the habit of throwing the headphone cord across my shoulder. Otherwise, I can't type when I need to.
yes, I have it tucked kind of. It's kind of, let's see.
Yeah.
Let's see. Um, So, um, what was I talking about?
Um.
Oh, introvert, extrovert,
Yep.
brain fart. You know.
No. No.
Um. So yeah, when I'm at a convention, I'm usually in full extrovert mode. And you know, but at times right now, I just want to pull in sometimes, you know.
Mhm.
So this way I can kind of be able to do whatever I need to do. If I need people to talk to, I can talk to people. If I need to pull in and not talk to people, I can always go back to the hotel room.
Yep.
So they are going to do um, confinement is going to do a tribute. The Daryl and another author um, passed away recently, and both of the widows are supposed to be at confinement. So they're going to. Thank you, Chris. Good to see you.
Yep.
Um, both of us are going to be at confinement, so they're going to have a joint kind of a little memorial panel, as it were.
I'll be
And
there in spirit.
hmm,
I'll be there in spirit.
um, they have invited both of us to attend, and I'm planning to, but I don't know how well I'll do. We'll see. Um, um, I'm a very private person. I have never liked crying in front of people. Um, and I've done more crying in front of people in the last month and a half than I can in the whole rest of my life before that.
Yeah, circumstances dictate what you do, even if you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Um,
So I don't know. And if I do go, I'll probably wind up going back to the hotel room for a little while afterwards. Just um,
decompress.
yeah. So
See, I do understand.
oh, I know you do. I know you do, and I
Yeah.
appreciate it.
Well, um, okay, let's let the world in on a little secret. I've actually uh, gone through some of what Stephanie has been going through for the past few weeks. My second wife passed away unexpectedly, um, 16 years ago, or yeah, there no 17 years ago. Lindsay and I have been married for 15 years, and we were together for a few months before we got married. Um, so um, I have worn those shoes, and although everybody's reactions are different, I can um, relate to a lot of the general sort of things that happen in that situation with anybody that undergoes it. So, you know, uh, say la vie. Um, and Stephanie and I are good enough friends to where we can open up to one another in private, whereas we would not be broadcasting such a thing in a public forum such as this. But
Which I'm probably saying more than I normally would because
yeah, it's just you and me. Yeah.
yeah, and it's there. There's at least the illusion that nobody else is here.
Mm.
So
And it is highly therapeutic, isn't it?
it is. It is. Um, Mike, I'm reading your comments and I appreciate them immensely.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Um, I'm sorry, Mike. I'm not. I'm not going to put those up. But yes, you're absolutely right for both of us, actually. And the only difference between Steffi and I is that uh, mine was a decade and a half ago. So uh,
And
there has been time to heal.
and mine was a month and a half ago. So
Yep. Uh,
there are times when I'm okay,
mm,
and there are times when I'm not.
and I can understand that perfectly both ways. Yep.
And there
And
are times when I think when I'm okay that I think I shouldn't be.
but it's not as if you deserve that. It's just circumstances. It's not like you did anything to earn it. Um, Life is one of those things that will kick you in the teeth time and time again.
No joke.
And as long as you're breathing, got to keep putting one foot in front of the other, no matter how much you don't want to.
Yeah. But honest to Pete, I think that the system and our culture is set up to make it harder at exactly the time when you are mentally and emotionally least able to handle it.
Yep, when you're vulnerable, they throw all this crap at you.
Yeah. It's like, um, did I tell y'all about the last week? Did I tell y'all about the um, storage unit people?
Yes, yes. But if I may sum up from memory, you're having to prove that you are Daryl's heir because the storage company does not want to take the chance of someone being able to access the storage unit just because they actually have the code and the key.
Pretty much, yeah. I can prove that I'm his wife. I can prove he's deceased. I can prove that I live in the same place he lived. I've got the key. I don't have the code.
Oh,
They won't give me the code. They have demonstrated that the key fits both locks. There's two units. Um, they won't let me anywhere close to them.
and it's all because they don't want a lawsuit.
Basically,
And
they're actually requiring more proof than the state of Alabama requires.
what they're going to get is a lawyer going, "Wake up,
Hello,
hello."
because I've already engaged the lawyer.
Yep,
So
engage. Uh,
yes,
Arm the photon torpedoes.
beam me up, Scotty.
Oh, we could do that all day.
Oh
You,
yeah,
we could trade references on. Oh, we could even leave
I'm
Star.
a doctor, Jim, not a bricklayer.
We could even leave the trick genre and go off to other. Lord,
Oh yeah.
I bet you could quote me chapter and verse on Blake 7 too. Uh,
Um. Well, it got me laughing. So hey, um, better that
oh,
than blubbering on when I'm live on camera.
oh, you have yet to experience angst in space.
Yeah, pigs in space.
That was about when somebody decided that the best description of Blake 7 was angst in space. I think they had seen the Muppet Show and they go, "Oh, this fits." But it's basically, let's see, uh, everybody's a hero, but nobody's allowed to win.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, that would do it.
yep. And 4 seasons, and the series finale was not known to be the series finale when it was filmed. So it was a cliffhanger.
Oh,
And
that sucks.
you wind up with all but one major character you had been invested in for the entire series, the entire 4 years, dying or appearing to die
Shit.
without ever knowing how that rabbit was going to be pulled out of that hat with the first episode of season 5.
That sucks.
Yes, it does. It annoyed me so much, I actually sat down and wrote an outline for a way to begin series 5, which nobody, well, let me say, which nobody would pay me to do, but I think some of the fans would like it. Uh, but that it's neither here nor there. I'll never be asked to write that particular piece, although my notes still exist.
Quantum Leap.
I wrote one of those too.
Loved that show. Loved
Hated
that show.
hated the season close.
Hated the ending. You know, when it went to black and they brought up the
Never got home.
yeah, never got it. I never watched another episode ever. I couldn't even watch it in reruns because that one line ruined the series for me.
Hmm. And now Scott Bakula has announced they're in negotiations to pick it up at that point.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Don't know that anything will ever come of it. That news is about 2 years old at this point. So we're talking production hell or pre-production hell. But if they ever greenlight it, I hope he's young enough to pick it back up again, because it's one of the few people that for a series we want to be picked up again can still step into the part. You know, Scott Bakula has had the absolute worst luck with TV series.
Yeah, and you know he's so talented. Well, you
Yes,
know what?
he
His NCIS New Orleans did pretty well. That had a pretty good long run.
okay, well that I'm not familiar with because it's not my genre. But as far as sci-fi series goes, he has done so many things that were so excellent, and somebody shot him in the foot every
Yeah.
damn time.
Have you seen him do any Broadway stuff? That boy can sing. He is good.
I have seen him do a lot of singing on Quantum Leap, believe it or not. Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, now, oh, especially the Man from La Mancha episode.
Yeah, yeah. I'd
That
forgotten
was
about that one. Yeah.
impressive. That was impressive. Uh, oh, and there was one he did with Bill Saget. At Quantum, and Bill Saget was playing a very unpleasant person. Talk about casting against type. But he managed to pull it. He managed to pull it off very, very well. He managed to make the audience believe he was not a nice person. But he could play one on TV. Um, to coin a phrase. But, oh no. Have you ever seen a pilot for a show that could have happened called Infiltrator that Scott was the lead in?
I have not.
Okay, okay. Here's the elevator pitch. It's Incredible Hulk for the '90s.
Okay.
Scott Bakula has just invented and unfortunately tested a teleport. The unfortunate part is he was trying to impress a lady physicist a few lab doors down who was working on a highly modifiable spy satellite. You have seen several iterations of The Fly, have you not?
Oh yeah.
Scott accidentally teleports and absorbs the spy satellite. Thereafter, whenever he gets angry, the computer program in the spy satellite pops out a weapon and zaps something.
Oh shit. You could,
Incredible Hulk for the 90s.
yeah. You could play that for humor too, though.
Oh, they did. It was funny as all get out. But it never got picked up, unfortunately. It would have been grand. They could have played that for about 4 or 5 years.
Oh yeah.
But and this was the time when you were looking for something to complement Knight Rider. So
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that series had drawn to a close. And
I have a
oh
kitty down here messing with me.
yeah, Pinky is in Lindsay's chair in the living room, sacked out. Evidently, she did not let him in the bedroom, which is not surprising because she just got one of those uh, wedge shaped memory foam pillows
Mm-hmm.
because she's been having a little bit of acid reflux or something like that. So she wants to not be laying flat.
Yeah. I
So,
have I have one also. It's not memory foam, but it's a wedge pillow that
well, I don't. I'm not sure that it is memory foam. It just that seemed like it would be one of the things it was. But
which sometimes if it gets really bad, I come out here and I get in the recliner anyway.
mm,
So, but lately the recliner has been what I've been sleeping in because
yes, I know.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
uh,
it's there's the emotional aspect, but then there's also a literal physical barrier because not only did I find him in the bed, the um the first responders with all of their bags of equipment and everything, they knocked down everything in the hallway.
yeah.
And I literally have got to clear out the hallway before I can get back there. Um because if I get up in the middle of the night and I want to go get something to eat or I need to run by the bathroom or whatever, I got to be able to navigate that hallway.
You don't need to be running an obstacle course.
Right. So, and I just haven't I've gotten some of it picked up. I've got the worst stuff. The folding screen I've picked up. I mean, I can actually open the door now because the folding screen is no longer wedged behind it.
Mhm.
And stuff like that. So I've got the worst of it picked up, but I had a rack on the wall that had clothing and stuff hanging from it, and it was a metal rack screwed into the wall. They
Oh, they
ripped out
ripped
they
it out of the wall.
they ripped it they ripped the screws out of the wall and bent the metal of the rack. So I mean, and it was a decorative thing. I don't know if it's fixable. I'm certainly going to have to putty over the holes in the wall.
Mhm.
Um, but I got the worst of that sort of stuff, the stuff that might hurt me just trying to deal with it all. I
Mhm.
got that moved, so now it's just a matter of picking up all the clothes and the clothes hangers and all that stuff and figuring out what to do with everything. Um, and then once I do that, but the problem with that is I'm handicapped,
Yeah,
so
your your knees are really messed up. right?
My knees are really messed up. My back is really messed up. So being able to do that is going to be a pain in the butt. Or
Well, it's
actually, it's
be
going to
a
be a
pain
pain
in
in
the
the back and a pain in the knees.
knee. Yeah, to be literal.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Could you give
I'm,
me a
I'm,
second? I really don't want to broadcast somebody, people watching me blow my nose.
okay.
So I'll be right back.
Okay. So anyway, so I've kind of got this situation in there, and I'm basically what I'm going to do is once I get the hallway cleared or at least passable, I'm going to strip the bed. I've got a new set of sheets. I got new blankets, and I'm just going to completely redo the bed, and then hope that I can sleep in the bed because frankly my joints are getting kind of tired of sleeping in the recliner for the last week for the last month and a half. So
Hmm. I can well understand. Yeah. Um, I went through, without the devastation of the house, emotionally, I went through the same
yeah.
sort of thing to a lesser degree. To a lesser degree, let me tell you. Um,
Well, see, I was actually sleeping out here when he died
hmm.
because he we did he had a cardiac ablation to try to take care of an arrhythmia that had developed. And then during the ablation, some stuff happened, and the doctor decided that he needed a pacemaker as well. So they did the ablation, brought him out, talked to us both. We decided we agreed, let's go ahead and do the pacemaker. So they did the ablation in the morning and the pacemaker in the afternoon, and then um, sent him home. And they overdid the blood thinners for the ablation a little bit. The bruising was epic. I mean, his whole chest was bruised, up his shoulder, around under his arm, out his arm almost to his elbow. It was all just every shade of the rainbow. Um, and they didn't give him any painkiller. They didn't prescribe any pain medicine for him. And so he was having a really hard time getting comfortable to be able to sleep. You know, he wasn't allowed to sleep on the side with the pacemaker, but everything was just so painful. So I said, "Look, you take the whole bed, you take all the sheets, all the blankets, make yourself a nest, whatever it takes to get comfortable, and I'll sleep out in the recliner." And so I'd been doing that for a couple of nights, and I got up one morning and I went in to check on him, and he was gone.
Mm.
So so yeah, I've been sleeping out here basically since Thanksgiving because he had those cardiac procedures the day before Thanksgiving. So um and yeah, my joints are getting tired of it.
Yeah, I can well understand. Although I'm at the age now where if I sit in a chair, I'm going to be asleep very soon unless I do something actively to prevent it.
Well,
Which is it's kind of difficult at work when I'm typing on the computer and my eyes want to close, even though I'm busy doing something. Going, hey, this is not as boring as you're letting on here. I'm trying to do algebra here.
the first night, that first night was really really bad. Um, but it's really interesting. This little fur creature here who is back on top of my legs. Um, he never used to sleep on top of me. Never used to sleep on top of me. If he cuddled with anybody at night, he'd get on Daryl's feet. That very first night, he came in here. He got on top of me. He curled up with me, and he spent the whole night. And having him there purring when I would wake up helped me get through it, and he's done that every night since.
Mm.
So the first few nights were rough, the first night especially. Then I got to where I was sleeping okay. Then somewhere in there, um, long about maybe first of the year, um, I got to where I wasn't sleeping well,
Yeah.
and I couldn't go to sleep at night, and I'd get something would wake me up first thing in the morning, and so I went through several weeks there of just maybe 4 or 5 hours of sleep max on any given evening, and was starting to get really worn out. And then here in the last few days, it's like, okay, Steph, it's time to make up for this. And I would not only um, crash at night, but I'd be sitting here watching TV, and the next thing I know, it's 1, 2, 3 hours later.
Yep.
So
I have done that. I have done that.
the body is saying, enough's enough.
Let me step over here to the little mini fridge. I'll be right back.
Okie dokie.
We've got like 15 minutes, and my throat is still dry. So
Okay. Give me some. Um, but yeah, I love the background he's got on his screen there. Um, my background is an astronomer. Just says, "Yay, yes." Very large array. So
Lindsay got me this little teeny tiny fridge for back here in the office. It
oh, there
can
you go.
it can only hold 6 cans, and it doesn't
Well,
have a thermostat. Um, I have to, before I go to bed, I have to switch it off because I don't want it to be running all the time and burn out. Because it it chills the drink really, really, really well.
well,
Um,
this is good.
yes, but said it doesn't have a thermostat, so it doesn't ever get any rest.
Ah,
So I'm afraid that I'll burn out the motor or something if I leave it, fill it up and leave it on all the time.
yeah.
It says it's a Frigidaire. Uh, it may well be because that's what it says on the owner's manual. So I don't know, but it's this little rectangle. You can put 4 full size drink cans on the bottom and slide 2 in on their side in the top, and that's the only way you can fit 6 in it
Mhm.
whatsoever. It
But
does not lay down 6 and stack up. They're too a normal size drink can is too thick for that. But 4 standing, 2 reclining, and it's fine. And it
hey,
does,
it's a 6 pack. You're good.
yeah. And actually, I will have one left by the end of the show, and I'll have to take it out and take it to the beer fridge in the kitchen and turn the little mini fridge off, and that'll be great. I'll turn it back on maybe tomorrow night for the green room. Oh, you have yet to experience the green room. You've got to be a member
Okay.
of Uncle Carl's Secret Humor Group, which
Okay.
is it's a little bit bawdy.
Well, shoot, you hadn't seen some of the groups I've been in.
Well, I'm sure you could handle your own in there and probably dish out far more than you would have to take. But um, let's just say it's one of the few places, and it's never recorded, which is a good point. There's no blackmail footage, although Carl has been known to do screenshots when somebody does something extremely stupid or
Well, just
extremely
just
outgoing.
the introduction. I found it on Facebook. Just the introduction is funny. Comedy for people who can take a joke. If you don't have a sense of humor, please kindly get the hell out of here.
If you want in, I can promise you, Carl and Donna will they'll be more than glad to have you. It does get a little risque from time to time. Woo, my kid,
Okay.
it gets risque every damn Friday night. Depends on and sobriety is not encouraged. So
Well, I just sent a join request, so we'll see.
yeah, and I'm sure they know who you are. So you be in like Flynn. And so
Okay.
see you tomorrow night. Uh, and please forgive me if I'm not living up to the standards which you expect, but there is a certain barb to some of my humor which I don't normally display. It's nothing hurtful, but from time to time people give me straight lines, and I can't resist connecting the 2 points.
One of the things Daryl used to do with me was okay. The first thing that you have to understand is that Daryl could make me laugh. I could be so upset that I was crying over something, and Daryl could find a way to make me laugh. He was just that funny. And he would. He knew that was a surefire way to knock me out of being upset. Um so one of the things that he used to use me for was trying out, since he did a lot of children's shows and stuff, he
Try
had like two levels of humor.
to.
He had one level for the children's shows. He had another level for like the corporate, banquets and stuff that he did.
Hmm.
So he used me to try out the jokes to figure out, did I cut this down enough for the kids or is it still a bit too much?
Is this going to fly in Peoria,
Yeah. Yeah. So,
or is it
but
banned in
I
Boston,
hmm?
or is it banned in Boston?
Yeah. So, and he would use some of his own stuff. I know he did a banquet once for, I don't know, it was like a cardiology convention or something rather like that. And he was cracking jokes about when he had bypass surgery. He was pulling up the stuff that happened and making jokes about him.
Mm.
And the cardiologists were rolling in the floor. They loved it. So um, I knew within a couple of days of his death, um, I was hunting for his phone because I was looking for passwords and stuff like that. Didn't
Mhm.
find the passwords. Found the phone. Didn't find the passwords. Um, but I found a notes app file that he'd left on his phone, and it was a kludged together bunch of stuff that he wanted to remember. But one of the things that he wanted to remember, he would put in ideas he had for jokes. And so I'm reading down through this file and I'm alternating between crying and laughing my fool head off because, some of it was just that. It was so funny. I actually called my parents and were reading some of them to them. And I was like, yep, he's still finding a way to make me laugh. So, um, yeah, I'm trying to be as upbeat as I can because I think
Don't
that's what he'd want.
don't force it. Cry when you need to. Laugh when you need to.
I had to turn the radio off on the car today.
Oh, I can just imagine. Yeah,
I mean, it wasn't a song that I'd ever heard before. It wasn't like it was our song or anything like that. But
but it hit home.
yeah, the lyrics just,
Yeah, you find those occasionally, even if you've never heard them before.
yeah.
It's
Because
like,
I'm one of those people, I listen to the lyrics.
mm,
I listen to the stories. I'm a storyteller. I listen to the stories behind the songs. So, and this one was just, anyway.
yep. Let me do this here. Hey, Ace, you came in like 5 minutes before the show ends, so I'm sorry, but Saturday night we'd keep right on going, but I've got to get up at 6 a.m. So we are on basically the wind down, but it's just you and me, so everything's good. Uh, yeah. Um,
And I
th-
apologize for those that are listening. I apologize that I've talked so much about
oh,
my situation and everything.
you don't have a damn thing you need to apologize for.
Not everybody wants to hear about some stranger's grief, Dan, and I get that, but at the
Well,
same time, it's helped me. So
sooner or later, they're going to go through grief of their own if they haven't already. The ones that have already will understand. The ones that haven't already
are
will
going to.
understand when they go through it. This is life. If you don't learn from other people's experiences, you're going to have a rough time when you experience the same things.
Yeah.
These are this is one of the things that you gain perspective on as time goes by. You don't have to be in your 60s like me to have experienced it. Some folks go through this in their 20s.
True.
You know, some folks go through things that are far worse. Um, and I don't even want to. I
I
know about things like that, but I don't want to go there. Um,
I debate about would it have been easier if this had happened in our 20s or now, and I can't decide because of course we were relative newlyweds in our 20s, so there's a passion there, but at the same time we were together for 40 years, so there's he's never not been there.
I've got to say that that was a gift, and you were damn lucky to get it.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry it had to end so soon, but you had a whole lot more than some people ever get the chance at. And I know you appreciate that, but it doesn't make the loss any easier to bear. And it never will. Um, Uncle Carl's supposed to be the counselor. Um, I'm just some farm boy that can string words together. All right, we got like a minute left.
Yep. I'll shut up. Let you do your thing.
Oh, it's okay. Once I hit end broadcast, have you ever read the end credits for the show?
I read them last time and I died laughing.
That's exactly why I did it the way I did it. And Nick Tockert's going, "Oh, I tuned in just at when my name showed up." I'm going, "Yeah, Nick, I put you in there just because you are who you are and you do what you do, and the world should know." And he's got his own little, he's got his own show, the Historical Fencing Guild, which is on at the same time as the beginning of the Green Room on Friday nights. So a lot of the Green Room crowd does not watch Nick's show, but I promise you, Nick is one of those people where um, he seems to have been dipped in speed when he was born. He just kind of whoosh, once he's in full flow, he's harder to stop than a hurricane. And he's just this wonderful, gentle fellow, and he's just outrageously funny, and just oh, I can't say how much I love him enough. But all right, it's been 2 hours, folks. Thank all of you who have tuned in and turned on and dropped out while we were going. And no, I'm not Timothy Leary, but back in the 70s, no, back in the 90s, I probably could have understood him a hell of a lot better than I could have back in the 60s. So, thank you very much, Stephanie, and you take care, and we will see you, if not tomorrow night, then Saturday night, hopefully. And love you very much. And
love you too, hon.
You have you're always in my prayers, babe. You're always in my prayers.
Appreciate it.
And you have a good night as best you can. Snuggle the cat, get some sleep, and I promise you, if I can get out of the chair before I nod off. Oh, Lord, that reminds me, I got to get my phone out of my wallet so I can wake up in the morning. Otherwise, it'll be 20 feet away if I actually manage to make it into the bed. All right. Good night, Mrs. McGillicuddy, wherever you are. Let you know how old I am. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Oh, wait, I didn't play the end credits. I was about to end everything without the end credits. Go ahead. Brand, where's the outro? There's the outro. All right. Silly me.